Bright lights, brilliant garb, and amazing feats are just a few of the ingredients that make up the magic that takes place on stages across the globe. I'm Lewis-Waddell. Thanks for tuning in to Video Workshop, where we'll take a sneak peek backstage at one of Houston's nationally acclaimed theaters. Here in our very own backyard, we have a theatrical gem that is founded and flourishes with the help of our very own local talent. As the largest owned and operated in-house African-American facility in the Southwest region, the Ensemble Theater serves as a diverse mecca and home to artists from all different walks of life. Joining us from the Ensemble Theater, celebrating its 35th anniversary, we have with us Artistic Director Eileen J. Morris. Welcome, Eileen.
Thank you so much, Lee, for having me. I appreciate it.
Great, great. Well, first, before we get started, congratulations on 35 years of stellar production. Absolutely, that's fantastic. But before I get too far ahead of myself, let's delve into a little bit of history. How was the theater established?
Well, the theater was founded by George Hawkins, who at the time was an accountant with Tinaco Oil Company. George is an alumni of Prairie View A&M University, and he's from Dallas, Texas. And he came here to Houston to really practice and perfect his craft. And he found that it was not a lot of opportunities for things other than roles that he cared not to play that he was being offered. So he was like, okay, wait a minute. I know that there's some way that we can find a way for African-American artists, especially, or people of color, to be able to practice and perfect their craft. Thus, he founded the Ensemble Theater. It started out as a touring company in which he wrote a play called Brer Rabbit, which was based on the old Joel Chandler tales. And so he wrote this piece, and he toured this piece in Europe and across the country. And then he decided to actually put his roots down, and he found a space that was an old pet shop at 1010 2M, and then he actually started doing full productions at that time.
Wow. So the space on 2M, so that's not the space in which you all are currently in now. Can you tell us what the performances were like in that space?
Well, those performances were really very rich, because the beautiful thing is that we were able to work, as our name says, as an ensemble. You know, people pulling together to be able to create one and move toward one common good and goal and journey that we're taking. But it was a very small space. I mean, it was less than like maybe 2,000 square feet. It was, and so we tell everybody sometimes one of our, like our green room, it was double the size of that room at the current location that we are now. But it was still a place that we were able to do plays like A Raisin in the Sun and Soldiers Play and One Monkey Don't Stop No Show. So these very rich plays that dealt with the African American experience were still being able to be done on a very small space. We tell the whole joke about the fact that our audiences had to use the same restroom that the actors had to use. So the actors would have to take their clothes out, plaster themselves up against the wall, and let the audience members go in and use the bathroom, and then we'd come back out.
Oh, wow.
Or go back in and finish putting on makeup and do our, do the show and everything. So it was a very intimate space, but one that helped us to have the rich history that we have and to be able to grow as artists.
Wow, wow. Yeah. So speaking of artists, you're an artist yourself. Tell us about your journey and how it started and what led up to you arriving at the ensemble.
Well, I really feel that I was called a long time ago to be an artist or to be an actress. And I tell everybody that, I went to Catholic schools all my life. So once I decided that I wasn't going to be a nun, and that was around 5th grade when I started wearing glasses, and I guess my hormones started kicking in, then I said, well, I don't think I want to be a nun anymore. And so I said, well, I really wanted to do something that I felt was going to allow me an opportunity to showcase my personality and be able to, perform and act in front of people, and I enjoyed that very much. And that's when I really started pursuing acting, when I was young, when I was in middle school, so to speak, and I just, kept with it, and I went and got a degree from Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, Illinois, and I worked there as an artist as well, and then actually just started practicing and perfecting my craft with George. I started volunteering with the Ensemble Theater when I first moved here to Houston, and then from volunteering I was able to become stage manager, and then acting, and then directing. And when George passed away in 1990, I was able to then take over as artistic director of the Ensemble Theater.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite a journey.
Very much.
So let's fast forward to the present day. You're quite the director. I hear you're directing 2 shows this season. Let's talk about a few of those.
Well, it's always wonderful to be able to direct because it's a great opportunity to pull together a group of people, the production team, the actors. You yourself know that because you've been in a couple of, at least one production that I've done. American Menu, as a matter of fact, was a production that we did about a year or so ago, and had a wonderful time because it had a Texas story, so to speak, not necessarily a real story, but one that was set in the city of Texas, in the state of Texas. But I'm doing, this season, I'm going to be doing a play called Lotto, which has just went up, and we had a wonderful time doing that production about a family that wins the lottery. Another production that we're going to be doing is called Cutting Up, and it's about the stories of these people that are in the barbershop. And then the next story that I'll be doing will be the finishing the cycle of the August Wilson 10-play cycle, which is King Hedley. So we're excited about doing that this year.
Wow, what a rich and diverse history.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Video Workshop. I'm Lewis-Waddell. Tune in again with